And today I have a lesson for you that's really going to help you in a lot of ways. You know, one of the things I mention a lot to my students and viewers is that one of the best things you could do as a musician is to develop your ear, right? To really work on your ear development. And this lesson is going to help you along with that. And we're going to use some soloing principles and targeting some notes to really help develop your ear. And I have a little training exercise put together where we'll use a jam track. This is really going to dial in that ear. It's going to help your soloing to take on new flavors, make stronger solo statements. Now we're going to use a jam track in the key of A minor. And this is a really good jam track for this particular applications and concept because the chords are moving very slowly and it's a real simple 1-4-5 12-bar minor key blues. All right, so I say this all the time. You're probably sick of me saying it, but it's so important to know the chords that you're soloing over, right? You have to know the chords. The key is only a part of it. It's really all about the chords. The chords are what's going to give you the full roadmap as far as soloing and improvisational avenues, okay? So we're in the key of A minor, and basically the chords on this track is just the one chord's an A minor 7, and the 4 is a D minor 7, and the 5 is an E minor 7. So we have our jam track, and you could use any jam track for this technique, but I suggest, like the jam track I'm playing over, and you'll hear that at the end of the lesson, using a slow moving chords, and 1-4-5, I suggest, you know, like a 12-bar blues or something like that. Minor key, so you could use these scales that we're talking about. But, you know, make sure the chords are moving slowly, because what we're going to do here is I want you to hear the chord changes. And this is where your ear is going to start to develop or develop further. You're listening for that A minor 7th chord, that D minor 7th chord, and that E minor 7th chord. And then what we're going to do is we're going to target certain notes, and I'm going to have you land on a certain note in that chord as it's going in the jam track. And I'll put the jam track on in a minute and demonstrate this. It's going to get your ear dialed into listening to the music, because so many times you hear guitar players and they're just off in their own world and they're not listening to the track or playing to the song. They're not playing for the song, they're playing for themselves, right? And that's, in my opinion, not the way to go. You want to always play for the song, not for yourself. And here's a few scale suggestions in the minor pentatonic scale or the blues scale, minor pentatonic and blues scale. If we play that in the basic box shape, A minor pentatonic looks like this. So the notes in that A minor pentatonic scale, it's important to know the notes in the intervals too, right? You have your root 1, which is your A, flat 3rd C, 4th D, 5th E, and flat 7 G. And then those notes just repeat. You could add that blue note in there, that flat 5, that E flat, and that scale, adding that blue note would look like this. And you always want to know where the root notes are in your scales. We have 3 A's there. Low E string, 5th fret, D string, 7th fret, high E string, 5th fret. And your blue note is that E flat is on that 6th fret of the A string. And you also have it here on the 8th fret of the G string. So you always want to know where those notes are, especially the root note, because you want to resolve a lot of your licks. Circle back to that root, really drive that, you know, A minor into the listener's ears. Just a couple things we can add right off the bat. You could play Aeolian, A natural minor. In this position, that shape looks like this. Adding that B note, that 2nd, that 9th, right? And we're also adding that flat 6, right, here and here. Really important because it gives us those half steps that you don't have in minor pentatonic, right? You can also, a Dorian is also a great scale. Looks like this is only one note difference than a Aeolian, and that adds a major 6 instead of a flat 6. A Dorian over this position, a Dorian would look like this. That scale also adds in the 9, which is that B, but it also adds in this G flat note here, or F sharp, right? And you have it here too, right? So you get those half steps. And And that makes such a huge difference in your soloing. And if you want to see these scales diagrammed out on paper, because sometimes it really helps to see them on paper and to see the root notes kind of in black and the blue notes in blue, and it really helps tie it all together. I can really help you with that. Click on the link in the YouTube description box below, and I'll send you a killer free video lesson and ebook. The ebook has over 29 scales diagrammed out. I have all kinds of soloing strategies lessons in it. It's really killer. I'll also pair it with a video lesson, which will build on this and really help you in ways you could easily embellish your soloing and improvisation. I'll send both of them to you for free. The video is not on YouTube, it's extended play. The ebook is killer. Just click on that link below. So knowing the chords is the first part. The second part is knowing the notes which make up those chords, because then we could start picking out those notes and landing on them and finding out what notes you really like, what notes, you know, sound best to your ears, what notes are the strongest to emphasize in your solos. And this is how you're going to make huge solo statements, and you're going to land on these notes and it's going to blow you away because it's going to sound so cool. And you could kind of outline the chord changes by landing on different notes, even if you're using the same scale, right? We'll keep it simple. Use just one scale at first if you're new to this, whether you use for this, you know, A minor pentatonic and blues or Aeolian mode, whatever. I'd stick with minor pentatonic and blues to start. And another tip is at first, keep your lead lines really simple. Couple of notes, vibrato, maybe doing some slides or some hammers. Nothing too fancy, because again, the emphasis is on listening for the chord changes and landing on and targeting a note. Okay, so you have to know what notes are possible. Let's just take a few at first. And just to talk about the intervals and the notes, and if you don't totally understand this, that's okay. I'll just give you a little bit of theory. Don't get too bogged down in the theory, right? I just want to get you playing, having fun, and sounding some different notes and making noise. And hopefully the theory, if you want to study it, will help tie it together. I think it's important, but don't get too drowned in it. So a minor 7th chord is just made up of the root or 1, the flat 3rd, the 5th, and the flat 7th. So an A minor 7th chord is made up of the notes A. You have your root is A. You have your flat 3rd C. You have your 5th E, and you have your flat 7 G. Right? So listening and trying to land on one of those notes over that A minor 7th chord is going to sound really strong. Right? The A, the C, the G, the E, all in that chord. The other notes are going to sound good too in the scale. Those will probably sound a little bit stronger. So we want to pick out one. Now, obviously, it's always good to resolve your notes, at least at first, to that A, because that's the root note. You want to get the listener ear kind of dialed in that A sounds like home base, right? A is our tonic. So we're also playing a D minor 7th chord and an E minor 7th chord. So these are the notes in those chords, okay? And again, we're going to pick out a few, and we're going to try to land on them as the chords are changing. So let's put on the jam track and I'll show you what I mean. Now I have the jam track on, and here's the A minor chord, A minor 7th, okay? So let's just take a second and listen and go through the changes at first. You should always listen first, make sure you're hearing those changes. Here it goes to the D minor 7th, right there. Okay, now it'll stay on the D minor 7th for a couple of bars, 2 bars, and then it goes back, right there, to the A minor 7th. Okay, now it's gonna go up to the 5 chord. E minor 7th. Here that is, right here. 1 bar, 2, D minor 7th, 1 bar. Now back to the A minor 7th, okay? Usually there's a turnaround. It sounds like the bass is just doing the turnaround, okay? Starts over again. So, start off just by hitting those A notes. I'm on the A, 7th fret on the D string. Now we're going to hit a D note when it changes to D, like 9th fret G string. Here we go. See how strong that is? Try to hit the A when it changes. Here we go. Now E, 9th fret G string. D, 7th fret. A. So you start with the root notes first. Now let's stay on the A for a second. Put lots of space in there. Now let's land on a C note at flat 7 on the D minor 7th chord. Here we go. 5th fret on on the G string. Sounds good, right? Back to our A. It's just staying really easy. D note now, flat 7 on the E minor 7. To the D, which is a D minor 7 C note, 5th fret, G string. Back to A. Go back on the A. Maybe. Little A minor 7 arpeggio. Double stops. Now let's land on an F note in that D minor 7th chord when it changes. See how you like that? Here it is right here. Back to A. Right, we land on the F over the D minor 7, over the E minor 7. Let's land on a G note. Flat 7 in that chord. Here we go. So there I landed on the over the E minor 7, I landed on the G note, and over the D minor 7, we landed on the F note. Just some different notes, right? Let's play a D minor 7 arpeggio over the, here's the D change right here. There I played D natural minor, D Aeolian, D minor 7 arpeggio over that. Do that same thing up a whole step over the E minor 7th chord. So there I was kind of mixing it up and changing positions a little and playing some different arpeggios basically on each chord, corresponding chord, and just mixing it up a little bit, taking it to the next level. So start off with that, but start off just hanging on those root notes, listening for the changes to the root of each chord. Then pick out notes of each chord and target those each time around. And make sure you're doing this over a slow-moving track. Put your own spin on it, and you'll be amazed at how quickly you can come up with some killer sounds and killer strong solo statements, even if you're just staying in this minor pentatonic, and blues, but really listening for the changes, playing over the chords, and targeting your landing notes. Give it a try. I think you'll really enjoy it. Hope this lesson helps you along in your guitar journey, right? Remember, your playing is an evolution. Enjoy. Keep up all that hard work on those guitars. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because that really helps me to keep the content coming, and ring that subscription bell, and then you'll be notified when I have new lessons posted. And also click on that link in the YouTube description box below and get my killer free ebook with over 29 scales diagrammed out. Also, I'll send you a free video lesson with that on easy ways to embellish your soloing. Video lesson ebook for free. Just click below. Thank you so much for checking out this lesson. Thank you so much for your support over the years and years. So appreciate it. Stay tuned. Lots more great stuff coming. Take care. Rock on. See you in the next lesson.